All right, so we're gonna try this fun little dollhouse set. I always wanted to kind of make a big giant dollhouse, but I think we'll do a little bitty section of it and see if we like doing them. If we do a little one, maybe we'll work our way up to a bigger one. Alright, so the very first thing when I got into the nice warm house, not the craft barn, is unpack everything. And oh boy, this has a lots of parts and pieces. My biggest advice when doing this is keep all the pieces together and in their respective bags. They are all marked, which is very nice. And there are intensive instructions, so keep it all together. First thing we're going to build is the big bookcase. Make sure you get all your parts and pieces out and make your life easier and set it all out for just that particular project. Otherwise, you're going to get overwhelmed. In this particular kit, we're making a bookstore. So, of course, we're going to have tons of little teeny tiny little books. And I found the easiest way to cut them all out is to use a cutting board and use the X-Acto knife that they provided. They do provide all the tools, which is really nice. As I build this, I think the only tool that maybe I kind of missed is a needle nose pliers. Otherwise, you could pretty much build this with whatever they provided. I have to say that I really like the white glue that they provided. I'm not sure what brand or what kind it is, but it dried really fast. So when you're thinking, uh-oh, I'm going to have to sit here forever to wait for this glue to dry, not true. As long as you put kind of a thin coat, it dries really fast, which also can be a bad thing because by the time you think about putting things on there, the glue's already gone. So be careful and leave the lid on. Now, one warning is the instructions are a little bit vague. So I kind of examined the instructions, examined my parts, and then kind of used my IKEA putting together things brain and put these together. It wasn't that difficult. It's just, you just have to put a little bit of brain power to it and make sure you have it in the right areas. Also, everything is in centimeters or millimeters, which is not a big deal. As long as you can read a ruler, you can do it. And they provide you with this little teeny tiny yellow ruler, and after a while, I just switched to my own regular big, it's a stiffer ruler, especially for when you cut things out. I preferred my larger plastic ruler for when I use the X-Acto knife. This bookcase is very, very fiddly, and it kind of looks like a mess, but believe me, you will appreciate this glue that dries quickly, and it dries crystal clear, so it turns out really nice. Now, this is where I'm making the little handles for the bookcase, and this is exactly the moment when I was thinking, I really really could use some needle nose pliers because this would be so much easier. Okay, putting these silly little handles on was kind of a pain in the butt. I realized that I put way too much glue on there, so it didn't dry quickly like I said earlier. So I was constantly trying to straighten them up and make sure they stand straight up. So definitely would use either the super glue, they do have a super glue provided, or maybe less glue and then it would dry quicker. But it was kind of a little pain, but I got it in the end. Folding books. Oh boy, you're going to be doing a lot of these little guys. At first, it's kind of fun, and you just basically do a zigzag fold and fold them together. You get pretty good at it after the 30,000th little book that you make, but you fold it together, glue it. I found that if I glued it completely, all the pages together, they laid flatter. You'll see later on when I put them in the bookshelf. And also I placed them underneath something heavy so that they would flatten out as they dried. Now, when you cut these into the separate little individual books, the little tiny scissors that they provided, it's nice, but they are not strong enough to cut these. They're pretty thick, so I just got my giant scissors that are really nice and sharp. Now, when you put the little bitty books in the bookshelf, it does not tell you this, but I put a little bit of glue on the bottom of each shelf so that all the books will stay in there. Otherwise, you are going to have a hard time keeping them in there. My best advice for placing all these little books is just make sure you put glue down and a lot of patience. It's kind of fun. I like doing little tiny fiddly things, so this was right up my alley. Next, we're going to make the display cabinet, and you think with the less pieces it'd be a little easier, but it is a little fiddly. The spacing, I had a little tricky time, and keeping all the shelves straight up and down, but I got it in the end. Just use your ruler and you'll get it right. Each of these bookshelves seem to have little picture frames, and I'm assuming that it's gonna come into play probably towards the end of assembling. Of course, Marsh decided he couldn't take it anymore and he had to bug me, but that's okay. It was a welcome break. Again, we're gonna glue the little books in there, definitely on this one because there's nothing to hold the books from sliding anywhere. Glue it down, and just a lot of patience. And also this one is a display cabinet, so it's two-sided, so the back you will see later on that the books stand upright. Not a problem, just glue them down and let it dry. This also had some little books on the top as well to add to the library realism, I suppose. And we have one more bookcase. It's a little bitty one. So basically rinse and repeat. Glue it together, cut out the books, place them in, and ta-da! And there you go. There's the little bookcases. They are absolutely adorable, especially in person. I do recommend doing these. And so next time, probably come out tomorrow, we'll do the little furniture for the inside. And we'll go from there. So see you tomorrow.